As many of you may already know, I'm sort of an iPhone mini enthusiast. In fact, I wholeheartedly believe that this is the best iPhone ever made. But in October of 2022, I swapped over to the iPhone 14 Pro Max, mainly for review purposes. And I thought that I was going to stick with the Pro Max for the long run. However, after a couple of weeks of daily driving the iPhone 14 Pro Max, I came to despise it. The size and the weight of this phone was just not worth the trade-off for the better battery life. Not to mention, this phone is plagued with the plethora of issues, which we will not get into in this video. At this point, it's pretty safe to say that quote-unquote upgrading to the iPhone 14 Pro Max was not worth it. At least for myself anyways. So I did what any sensible person in my position would do. I swapped SIMs over last week from the iPhone 14 Pro Max back to the iPhone 13 mini, and I could not be happier. Which of course inspired me to make this video. I figured that there are probably some people out there that are in the same predicament that I was in. So in this video, let's talk about 13 reasons why the iPhone 13 mini is still worth it in 2023. By the way, the title is totally not inspired by the Netflix series 13 Reasons Why. How's it going, everyone? My name is RJ and this is the iPhone 13 mini. You may think I'm crazy for switching over to the iPhone 13 mini from the quote-unquote better iPhone 14 Pro Max, but I'm actually not. In fact, a ton of other tech YouTubers seem to be doing the exact same thing. Now, the question is why? What is it about the 13 mini that makes it such an enticing option in 2023? Reason number one is the price. It's 2023 and that means the price of past generation iPhones have dropped by a good amount. Despite Apple discontinuing the iPhone mini lineup, Apple still continues to sell the iPhone 13 mini over on Apple.com. A brand new iPhone 13 mini will run you $599 for the 128GB variant. If you do want to double the storage up to 256 gigs, that will run you an extra $100. However, I want you guys to save as much money as possible. So I'll drop you guys a little tip. If you scroll all the way down on the main page of Apple.com, you'll see a section called Clearance and Refurbished. Here you can find an Apple refurbished iPhone 13 mini for as low as $479. I believe at the moment all refurbished variants are sold out, but do keep an eye out on the links in the description below because this phone does tend to go on sale pretty often. I have a ton of refurbished Apple products and they're absolutely fantastic. With Apple refurbished products, you get a new outer shell, a brand new battery, and every device comes with all accessories and cables. It's essentially like you are buying a brand new iPhone, except you do get 15% off the original price. That to me is an absolute steal. Reason number two is the size and the compact form factor. The iPhone 13 mini comes in at 5.4 inches, which may deter some of you guys away from this phone. But trust me, the size of this phone is this phone's ultimate strength. You quickly get accustomed to the size, and you eventually learn to appreciate the convenience of this form factor. Instead of that constant feeling like you are carrying around a 5-pound brick in your pockets, you could finally experience what it feels like to carry nothing at all. There have been many situations in which I thought I left my iPhone 13 mini behind at home, but in actuality it was in my pockets all along, I just didn't feel it. Using a lighter phone on the daily is also much easier on the wrists. With the iPhone 14 Pro Max, I start to get a little bit of wrist pain after an hour of consistent usage, just due to the size and the weight of this device. With the iPhone 13 mini, there is no such thing as hand fatigue. There is no need to overextend your fingers to hit the top or the side of the display. Everything on this phone is just so convenient to access. Moving on, reason number three is the battery life. I'm currently running iOS 16.3 on my iPhone 13 mini, and the battery life has definitely improved from screen on times I've gotten in the past. These days, with the iPhone 13 mini, I can squeeze out around 6 hours of screen on time, a significant improvement from the 5 hours I was getting on iOS 16.2. Nonetheless, I wouldn't trust the battery life on this phone to get me through those longer days. So I do highly recommend a MagSafe battery bank like this one. This is the Anker MagGo 622. It's a 5000 mAh MagSafe battery bank with a flap that unfolds to hold your phone in portrait or landscape orientation. This is terrific for scrolling through social media or watching your favorite shows on Netflix while your phone charges. I made an entire dedicated video on this battery bank on my channel, which I will link for you guys in the description below if you are interested. Reason number four is the performance. This phone got written off way too early by reviewers who never use this phone extensively. The iPhone 13 mini is packing the A15 Bionic chipset along with 4GB of RAM. The A15 Bionic is a 2021 flagship chipset with 4 efficiency and 2 performance cores and 15 billion transistors. Yeah, this means the iPhone 13 mini absolutely flies. I'm able to play games such as League of Legends Wild Rift no problem. In fact, this phone is more powerful than current flagship Android devices like the newly released S23 Ultra. And to this day, this phone is still smooth as butter. Reason number 5 is updates. Despite the iPhone 13 mini being released in 2021, you'll still get updates on this phone for many years. I mean, we could potentially be looking at support for the next 7 years, which is incredible value for a phone at these current prices. The 6th reason is the Oled Oled Display. The iPhone 13 mini is equipped with a 5.4-inch diagonal Super Retina XDR display. Resolution-wise, you're looking at a 2340 by 1080p panel with a PPI 476. It's capable of HDR and features True Tone. Under direct sunlight, visibility is not an issue. This phone maxes out at a peak brightness of 1200 nits, which is plenty enough for outdoor display legibility. So far, this phone sounds fantastic, right? But there is a lot more that the iPhone 13 mini has to offer, which brings us to reason number 7. I'm willing to bet it's probably been a long while since you've been able to use a smartphone one-handed. With the iPhone 13 mini, you get a free hand wherever you go. And I cannot overstate just how useful it is to be able to text, type out emails, and even answer phone calls with just one hand. It's honestly such a freeing experience that a lot of iPhone mini users can attest to. Reason number 8 is the camera. Don't be fooled by the iPhone 13 mini's small form factor. The size is not an implication that this phone has terrible cameras. In fact, the main 12 megapixel lens found on this phone is the same lens that Apple uses on the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So technically speaking, this phone is equipped with a 2020 flagship main camera. The photos this phone is able to push out are more than good enough for the average consumer. Take a look at all of these images. The vibrancy, the dynamic range, and the detail that this phone is able to provide is fantastic. Even in low light, this phone is able to dish out some pretty respectable images. Let's not forget about the ultra-wide. The ultra-wide lens is also a very capable player that comes into play in certain situations. On the iPhone 13 mini with the ultra-wide lens, you get a 120-degree field of view, which is pretty clutch in certain situations. Now, I'm not entirely sure if I prefer an ultra-wide lens over a telephoto lens here, but there have been a few times where I wish I was able to capture some zoom shots with an optical telephoto. I mean, if you really want, you do get 5x digital zoom on the 13 mini, but the quality is just not there. Reason number 9 is the great speaker quality. This phone comes with a single speaker, but surprisingly good quality. You get good volume out of this phone and great clarity. Compression has been cleaned up and more instruments come out when listening to music compared to the iPhone 12 mini. I'm able to kick back and watch entire Netflix shows without worrying about the sound quality, and that's a testament to how good the iPhone 13 mini speaker is. The 10th reason is MagSafe capabilities. I understand that every iPhone after the iPhone 12 mini comes with MagSafe, but that's not the point. The iPhone 13 mini is a tiny phone, so being able to carry around MagSafe accessories on this phone doesn't feel burdensome. I can attach a MagSafe battery bank, a MagSafe wallet, or a MagSafe ring. Whatever it may be, I can attach and use MagSafe accessories without the feeling like I'm carrying around a tank of a phone. Now we make our way over to the 11th reason. If you choose to buy the iPhone 13 mini, you get to choose from a plethora of vibrant color options. I personally find the iPhone Pro colors to be extremely boring. Nothing about this graphite color makes me too excited. But with the iPhone 13 mini, I love this blue colorway. And if you do get bored of your color after a while, you can always put a skin on it like what I have right here. I personally love the skin. It's from a website called Easy Skins. These skins are pretty inexpensive. They have great quality to them, and these skins do get shipped out pretty quickly. So if you guys are interested in skins for your iPhone 13 mini, check out the link in the description below because I do have some coupon codes for you guys which will save you around $5. The 12th reason may shock you, but this phone's selfie camera is pretty respectable. I film all of my TikToks, YouTube shorts, and Instagram reels on this phone's front-facing camera, and this is the type of quality that you can expect from the iPhone 13 mini's front-facing camera. Alright, so this is the kind of quality that you guys can expect from the front-facing camera of the iPhone 13 mini, and to me this looks pretty good. Right now I'm using a professional lighting setup, so I got a softbox up here, I got a softbox back there. So to me this looks actually pretty good for social media usage. As we make our way to the 13th and final reason, I just want to let you guys know that there are affiliate links in the description below that'll give you the most updated discounted price for the iPhone 13 mini. So make sure you go and check out those links, and if you do choose to buy the iPhone 13 mini using my links, I do get a small kickback that helps support the channel. So thank you so much for supporting my journey as a content creator. Okay, so the 13th and final reason may be a bit selfish, but I want to do my part in keeping the mini lineup alive. And more than that, I want to see Apple bring back this phone in a Pro variant, better battery life, and a more efficient chipset sometime in the future. I honestly believe a key reason why the iPhone 13 mini failed in sales was just because a lot of consumers were confused. They didn't know what this phone was capable of from a performance standpoint, and I feel like the average consumer took one look at this phone and said, there is no way I'm buying a low-tier iPhone, without really giving this phone a chance. If you made it to the end of this video, let me know who you guys are by dropping a dolphin emoji down in the comments below. I really want to know who my true supporters are. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to flex with your mini tech.